Who decides what counts as good art? Who decides what artists are allowed to paint? What happens when a single institution controls beauty itself? And how did a group of rejected painters quietly destroy that control? This isn't the story of a new style. This is the story of how power over art collapsed. Mid-19th century France. Paris is the cultural capital of Europe. And at the center of French art sits one powerful institution, the Académie des Beaux-Arts. The Academy didn't just teach art. It decided art. Every year it controlled the official Salon, the only exhibition that mattered. If your work wasn't accepted, your career simply didn't exist. The rules were strict. Historical, religious, or mythological subjects only. Smooth, invisible brushwork. Controlled studio lighting. No visible emotion. No visible artist. Paintings were meant to look perfect, timeless, and obedient. Art wasn't about perception. It was about approval. But while the Academy clung to tradition, Paris itself was changing. Under Emperor Napoleon III and Baron Haussmann, the medieval city was demolished and rebuilt. Wide boulevards, public gardens, cafes, gas lamps, modern life unfolding in real time. Yet none of this appeared in academic art. Why? Because the Academy didn't value modern life. It valued control. Paintings had to look finished, polished, and eternal. Even though the world outside was fast, unstable, and changing. A new generation of artists began to feel trapped. They wanted to paint everyday people, leisure, streets and parks, light that changes by the minute. They painted outdoors. They used visible brushstrokes. They used bright, unmixed colors. They even avoided black shadows. To the Academy, this wasn't rebellion. It was failure. Paintings were rejected. Critics mocked them. They were accused of being sloppy, unfinished amateur. Claude Monet was one of them. When his painting Impression, Sunrise, was shown in 1874, a critic laughed and said, "This isn't art, it's just an impression." The insult was meant to end the movement. Instead, it named it. Here's how the French Art Academy lost control of painting. Not through violence, not through revolution, but through irrelevance. The Academy controlled rules, but it couldn't control reality. Artists stopped asking for permission. In 1874, Monet and others organized their own exhibition. Outside the Salon, outside the Academy, outside institutional approval. And something unexpected happened. The public began to look differently. They didn't see unfinished paintings. They saw movement, light, life. The Academy still had authority, but it no longer had influence. Impressionism didn't defeat the Academy by attacking it. It simply made it unnecessary. Impressionism changed art forever, not by replacing rules, but by questioning who gets to make them. Once artists realized they could paint perception instead of permission, there was no going back. Post-Impressionism, Fauvism, Cubism, abstract art. All of modern art begins here, when control over art slipped out of institutional hands. And even today, every time an artist ignores expectations, they're repeating that same moment. If you enjoy stories about how power, culture, and art collide, this is Crossroads of Art. Subscribe.